And this Wednesday evening of Twister Talk, I'm Gary.
I'm Sue.
And Sue, we're going to give a quick rundown of what's going on with the weather because, man, we've got it from ice to snow to rain to tornadoes. It's everywhere going on right now.
Yeah, pretty much. The only thing we don't really have is hurricanes. But if you go to Australia, they're having a big cyclone that's going to affect Western Australia in the next couple of days. So, if you go to a different continent or different area, you can find anything.
It is safe in Antarctica right now. So if you head to the South Pole, you might be all right. But anyhow,
as far as we know, Antarctica is peaceful right now.
That's right. First thing doing a check-in, let's check in with what's going on with the tornado watches now in parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. Right now, the latest weather discussion from the Storm Prediction Center is saying that a primary tornado threat will persist near the warm front draped across that area, especially with semi-discrete supercells that cross remain anchored along it. Again, they're just saying a strong tornado is possible. Sue, there was a report of tornado in Mississippi, right?
Yes, there was a report of a tornado. I've seen video. It was definitely on the ground. Happened about an hour ago as we're taping. We're taping at about 10 to 7 p.m. And we don't yet know about whether there's been any damage or not. There have been other storms that have been warned, but that might be the first one that actually touched down.
All right, because several supercells have occurred over the past hour in that area, mainly from parts of south central Mississippi and the southwest Alabama. The environment will remain quite unstable for semi-discrete and discrete supercells to develop and rotate, and more tornadoes. Now, they're saying what they're concerned about now, some of these supercells may regenerate again as they cross into Alabama from Mississippi as the evening goes on. So as long as they're along that warm front, which is draped across that area, we know what can happen there. They get caught in that warm front right along it and drops a tornado. I think it's interesting, Sue, that the new discussions now have a probability of peak intensity for wind, tornado, and hail. I don't know if you've seen that. That caught my eye today. I thought that was an interesting add-on there. So they're talking about now tornado winds between 120 and 150, which would put it EF2 to almost EF3.
Yeah.
And then you've got wind, straight line winds from 65 to 80 miles an hour. And hail, though, not too bad, a quarter of an inch or smaller. So the hail problem is not the issue. It's going to be, this is a big windy system. Temperatures along the Gulf Coast in those areas are in the 70s. Dew points are in the mid-60s. And we all know that is the ingredient to stir up for severe weather. So that's what's going on there.
Yeah, and of course, I might add, one thing that they are kind of concerned about is a possibility that they might get a longer track tornado out of this.
Okay.
And, of course, it's getting dark now. And a lot of places in the South, the alarming systems are kind of scattered. A lot of people don't have access to sirens and things, so it's kind of a frightening time for them.
Yeah, it is. And again, tornadoes at night, and this system will keep going through the evening. It's not going to die out at sundown. Now, the one good thing, the northern extent of that, the air is cooler in that area, so tornadoes are not as likely. We're talking as we get into central and northern Mississippi and you move into northern Alabama, it's not nearly as conducive to tornadic activity, although storms and rain are going to definitely be part of what's going on there. Still the possibility of flash floods in areas that do or do not get tornadoes. Still could be flash floods. So I've just seen a couple of quick rain totals. About some places have had up to an inch half to 2 inches this afternoon, from late this morning into the afternoon, and that, again, can be conducive to flooding. So, boy, what a mess there. And so let's take a look at, Sue, we've moved north now out of the thunderstorms into snow and freezing rain, especially moving through the Midwest toward the East Coast. What's going on with that?
Yeah, it does look like there's the potential for quite a bit of icing, some of it in rather small quantities, but there is a potential for a pretty significant swath of quarter-inch ice running from roughly just east of Indianapolis all the way up through Toledo.
So, again, that's an area to be of concern. And also another concerned area, again, is where they got hit a few days ago, and that is down along the Appalachians into West Virginia and Maryland. Significant ice reports have already come in from those areas. And, Sue, it's just a quick glance. Some of the reports are up to a half to 3/4 of an inch of freezing rain today in those areas. So I expect power outages and bad travel, don't go anywhere, things like that. And
I would think so. And it looks like there may be some relatively significant snow with this system as well, especially up along the Great Lakes.
Yeah, you're looking
quantities up to 4 to 6 inches in some places in Michigan.
So,
and of course, that good old bugbear, lake effect snow in Buffalo.
That's right. And I need some places on the eastern part of it, the eastern half of the state of Michigan, Lower Peninsula, some places 6 to 8 inches are possible.
Yeah.
And we're looking at, again, snow accumulations in Buffalo. And also up north of Bangor in Maine, they're looking at 8 to 12 inches of snow by Friday. So you can have it. It's all yours. So we'll take that.
I guess the one thing is that they're a little bit more prepared to deal with it, perhaps.
Yeah, they kind of live in that. But one big thing we did want to touch on real quickly is that this is going to be a multi-day event. And so it looks like, again, as we get into the weekend, we'll get more into that in the next few days. But the weekend looks, again, could be pretty rugged by Sunday here, again, with another major ice event through parts of the Midwest, including Ohio and eastward. So that's something that we're taking a look at. Again, nothing is set in stone yet on that, but Sue, with all this crazy weather, snow, rain mixes, and everything, it's going to create some hazardous conditions throughout the Midwest and the East Coast Saturday, Sunday, into Monday.
Yeah, I've been looking at that. There's a map that they've printed on that, and it does look like very similar to the system that's happening today. And it does look like they're looking for the potential of a pretty nasty swath of precipitation that, of course, will be some variety of freezing precipitation, right through the center of Illinois into central and northern Indiana and right into western central Ohio.
Right. And then again, of course, along the Appalachians as we go Sunday into Monday.
Unfortunately, they just seem to be in for it right now.
Yeah, that seems to be the bullseye. But you have to remember, behind all this Sunday will be some pretty cold air for this time of year. Moving into temperatures will be, lows will be in the single numbers and teens in this area, and highs only be in the 20s during the day. So it'll be below freezing for a good part of next week. And of course, in the northern plains, it'll be well below zero over the weekend. Temperatures about 10 below or better in some places. But the good thing is, so from what we understand, once this pattern kicks out, it should be quiet for a few days. It'll be below freezing in a lot of places, but maybe give a chance for people to get some breather and get the roads cleared and get everything else done. And boy, I tell you, we have been so busy the last month doing these weather updates. It's like,
and of course, we can't forget. Wednesday, Thursday, well, actually today is Wednesday, looks like a significant rain event for California with the potential of moderate flash flooding in a moderate potential for flash flooding in Los Angeles.
The last thing they need, and of course that rain
is... The last thing they need. Everything's been burned. It's all bare, and the water just runs right off it. Yeah,
and it's falling over those burned areas, so they're expecting more mudslides, no more debris slides. The fires are all out, essentially, basically, because the rain has rained them out. But, again, now they've got to figure out how to keep property safe with the rains and everything. The good thing is it will help the snowpack. It will help the reservoirs out there. That's always a positive sign. And a lot of people coming together to help each other during that time, but they could use a break, and hopefully they'll get one here in the next couple of weeks.
It looks like the snow they're going to get along the mountain, in the mountains there is going to be quite deep, so that will help a lot.
Yeah, and I hope get everything ready, and hopefully, like we said, the weather will stabilize maybe a little bit in the coming week out there. It looks like that's a possibility. The storms will be more heading into Canada and the northern Washington, Oregon, and places. We'll see, because every time you and I talk about weather anymore, Sue, about 5 minutes after we post a program, the forecast changes. And
I know. It's so irritating.
I know. It's like, these guys aren't dependable. Well, you know why? Because 10 minutes ago it was fine. Now it's not. So
that's literally pretty much true. I mean, we look at this stuff and we're kind of thinking, well, I think we kind of understand this. And then it's like, well, no, you don't. So there you go.
Every time we think we know something, no.
That's right. That's right.
But anyway, again, in the southeast tonight, keep your eyes open for severe weather. Be moving through basically Louisiana and Mississippi, then into Alabama, maybe as far east as Georgia by daybreak. But they're not holding anything certain on that. The problem is you'll have a couple of days break, and it looks like severe weather could ramp up again over the weekend in those same areas. I'll have to keep an eye on that. The big problem for the Northeast is going to be a freezing rain event through Pennsylvania into the Virginias and Maryland. That's already going on. Freezing rain and sleet in a good part of Illinois, Indiana, and northwest Ohio. That's going on there. Places that are not getting freezing rain or thunderstorms, you're under a pretty good snow blanket. Some places have had 4, 5, 6 inches of snow today, and along the lakes, a snow effect machine will kick in, and expecting maybe another 8 inches or something. Again, that's going to be very localized, not going to be a big swath of that, but still, you keep piling snow on top of snow. We got to get tired and say, where is spring? It's coming. I don't know what that means, but it's coming.
At this point, it literally cannot come soon enough. And I might add, incidentally, with all the madness of the weather that's been going on, is that yesterday the folks in Pensacola, Florida, had an unwarned low level, what do they call those things?
Low top supercell tornado that went tearing through part of town. And of course, this only about a week after they had 4 inches of snow on the beach. What else?
So, people are they're ready. I think everybody's ready for spring wherever in the United States you are.
Because, man, this has been a wild winter. We haven't had a real winter like this in several years, and so it's making up for it with a vengeance. So if you check on our Facebook page, you'll see, I believe, the tornado video from Pensacola is posted there, if I'm right?
Yeah, it is.
All right, you can get a chance to see that and go, yeah, it was a low-top supercell, not a buzz-cut supercell. So make sure you get that right. Some people are like, what's the terminology? You'll have to do that. And yes, folks, we will be talking more. We'll do some more terminology as the next days go on, because I came across some things when I was checking the forecast, so I came across things I had to look up. I'm going, okay, what does that mean? So anyway.
That's always fun.
That is always fun. Speaking of fun, y'all have a safe evening and take care of yourselves, because it's going to be kind of crazy the next few days. Hopefully by the weekend, early next week, we'll be out of this mess. But for the next 4 or 5 days, keep your eyes to the sky, stay safe, and get your sources together. Make sure you get good weather reports, what's going on. For Twisted Talk, I'm Gary.
I'm Sue.
You take care, and we'll talk to you later.